Hello, I'm your instructor, Michael Darmody, for the ARTS110 601 online art appreciation class. I'm standing in front of an image of the lobby of the Fine Arts Center at San Juan College. This image and others are also available to you on your resources online too for later. But I would like to lead a kind of an introduction to this process which you will use to write your report. Normally my class gathers actually in front of this area here and takes out their checklist, which you have, of Cogan-Walters notes, which begins with what is the title of each painting, what is the artist's name, etc. There's 12 questions total that we try to answer individually, and then after a while we regather in front of the statue here, and then we discuss what our answers are and try to enlarge our knowledge base so that we can take that information and go back and write our report. Now this is a way, one reason why I use this tool is a way of assessing how much you really understand about the first 5 chapters of the book. Do you really understand the styles of representation, the purposes and functions of art, the elements and principles of design too? These are all folded into this. The best way to approach something like this is to come up to each painting, and before you decide whether you like it or not or understand it or not, the best way to do this is to just simply identify what it is you're looking at, and after that then describe it. What's a visual inventory of what you're looking at, and then you analyze it in terms of elements and principles of design, and only then should you try to interpret it. What is the artist trying to tell you, or what are you getting out of this work? And then you can evaluate it. Is it good? Is it bad? Do you like it or you not like it? You should not go too quickly. Take your time, let things sink in to you. You will write your report pretty much in the same steps. It says on here, you know, just the process of observation, and that's what you do with the questionnaire. And then when you go to write the report, you name an introduction. Where are you? How did these paintings get here? All that kind of stuff, which you should know from the slides too, and the captions there too. Then the main body asks you to just simply identify the work, describe the work, analyze the work, interpret the work, and then reach a conclusion. Basically decide which one you like best, or is it good, or etc. As you can see, this is John Cogan's Afternoon at the Amphitheater. It's a acrylic on canvas, and I think as the caption says, it's about 4 feet by 5 feet tall. It's a fairly ornate frame with a white strip around it, all of which can add meaning to the piece. Some things that you should take note of is you might ask each other when you post your comments, like, who likes this immediately? This is what's known as photographic representation. It's almost like a simulated photograph. And speaking of simulated, notice when you look up close that there is no actual texture in the painting, but it's purely simulated texture. The leaves on the trees, the clouds, the rocks, the surface is actually perfectly smooth, but it only looks rough. Also notice that compositionally there's almost like layers, the sky, the rocks, and then the foreground. It's also very spacious, deep, suggesting of deep space. Okay, and also the message that you may be getting with the clouds coming over the cliffs in a hot, dry desert. What does that possibly signify? And there's all sorts of other things that you can ask yourself and include in your report based on these questions. In some ways, Walters' painting, Vermilion Cliffs, although it's still in the representational style and is still with the same subject matter of the Southwest, and is also still a similar media, I think it's acrylic, it might be oil, and it's also a similar size and everything else, its view of nature is pretty much the opposite of Cogan's. If you look up close in the details, you'll see that the texture of this painting is for real. It's what's called impasto, so rough that it creates ridges. And also the depth of field is very, very shallow. It's like you're right up against the cliff face, and also instead of looking out across the valley, you're looking up at the cliffs. And so these cliffs dominate you as from your point of view physically. And also you notice that the colors are much harsher. So his point of view might be actually very much different from Cogan's. One of the things you might want to do when you post your comments or additional information is ask how many people agree with you that you like this one best or the other one best and why, or if you don't like it, why not, things like that, and share that information with each other, because in the notes it does ask you to identify who agrees with you and who doesn't and why. So it's important to note how other people react to two different works of art.